Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today let's cover chapter 2 of class 12 psychology, self and personality. Now what I've observed also the YouTube is when you search for proper psychology lecture, we're not able to find one. And it's way more difficult for students to look for guidance or look for videos that actually teaches uh, properly a chapter. But here I'm going to be covering the whole NCRT, so rest assured you don't need to study it from anywhere else other than this. And I'm because scoring great marks in your boards is all about mastering NCRT first. So this is what we're gonna do in this series of us, and I'll be motivated if you all support me by either you can comment down any part which you want me to explain it to you, or uh, tell me what I should improve, or some sweet comment or like or anything, or subscribe so that I get motivated and I make more videos like these for you. Now, without any further ado, let's just begin with our class. Now, introduction. Let's move to the introduction part of NCRT. Now, we all know that self and personality are two important aspects in the field of psychology. How? Because they are basically the characteristics way in which we define ourselves. So, what is self? Now, let's talk about personality first. Now, for example, I'm a person who is very introverted. So, whether I'm in an office, whether I'm at a school, whether I'm anywhere, I'll I'll behave like how my personality is. I'll be an introvert. So in different situation, my behavior revolves around the similar themes. That is introvert. That is personality. These similar themes are known as personality, around which my behavior revolves. So even if I'm placed in different situations, I'm going to react in the same way. That is my personality. Now, what is self? Now, self is the totality of an individual's conscious experience, ideas, thoughts, and feelings with regard to themselves. So, self is basically how a person thinks about themselves, like about themselves, how they think overall, how they are as an individual overall, like how they think, their ideas, their thoughts, everything constitutes self. All right. Now, these were two important aspects. Now, let's go to this concept of self. Now, self is the awareness of that you know who you are as a person, that you know that you are placed in a situation, you will make decision according to who you actually are. So if you feel like you're a very kind person, then you're going to help that person who is in need, so you know what type of decision you're going to make. Self and personality basically is about ourself, how we are, what do we are, basically what defines us as a human being, as a person, as an entity. The idea that self is the center of individual existence. And because of this self is how we are able to connect to the environment, to our society, to our friends, right? As in, we are able to share our thoughts with them, how we feel. That is how we are able to connect with them, right? Because first we know each other, then we're discussing about it, and like that. Now, the idea of self doesn't just comes is isn't just something which we are born with. Actually, it is something which evolves over time as we grow older. All right. And our interaction with the environment and the people build their experiences, and then we get to know more about ourselves with experiences, with more we experience. So like, you have many experience, so you have been placed in many different situations previously, so you know what you actually are. You're able to correlate all of those situations, and then This is what the basis of self is. All right. Now, there are two things which together make self. First, personal identity, and second, social identity. Now, personal identity is attributes of a person that makes them different from others, like the name, the qualities, their characteristics. So basically, attributes of person that makes that person, so that we are able to differentiate between two person. That if she is her name is Shweta, her name is Tina. We're able to differentiate between them. She is kind, well, she is not kind, for example. So attributes of a person that makes them different from other people. It includes the personality as well and everything. Now, social self are those aspects of a person that connects them to a group. Group as in a community, social or cultural group. Now, religion, country. So we live in India. So we are able to connect ourselves with people in India because live we all are Indians. We all come under a particular nation, that is India. So this is how we're able to connect ourselves with others. We're able to interact, to speak each other's language, and this is how we connect as a social being. Now, the next subheading, which we will talk about under the concept of self, is self as subject and self as object. Now, what is self as subject? Now, self as subject actively engages in the process of knowing itself, as the NCRT says. So, basically, self as subject is that you're analyzing yourself, and then on the basis of that, you're making a statement. So, like, I dance, so I am a dancer. But self as object is when the self gets observed and comes to be known. Like, I'm the one who easily gets hurt. Like, you are placed in a situation, you are observed, or you observe yourself in a particular situation, and then you define who you are. So, self as subject is at the self is when the self actively engages in the process of knowing itself, like I am a dancer. And second, self as object, when the self gets observed and comes to be known. Example, I'm the one who easily gets hurt. Second subheading is kinds of self. Now, there are various kind of self that are formed because of our interaction with our physical, social environment. Two main types of them, though, which we're going to be studying about, is personal self and social self. Now, personal self is like basically being concerned about yourself, about us, about you. So, basically, like what you will achieve in life, what you will become. So, we are the self centered. The self centered person is ourselves. The main thing which we are concentrating upon are ourselves. We're focusing on ourselves. So it is primarily concerned with oneself. But social self is concerned with aspects of life that involves others, like cooperation, unity, sacrifice, support, and sharing. So personal self is basically when you're self-centered, you're primarily concerned with one's own self. But social self, when you're concerned with aspects of life that involves others, you're concerned for others as well. Like soldiers, what they're fighting for, they're fighting for us, right? Yes. Now we go to another topic, which is cognitive and behavioral aspect of self. Now this we're going to be talk we will talk about in the next class. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any doubt, please do not hesitate to ask in the comment section. I'll answer it immediately. At least I'll try to answer it immediately within like hours. And yes, do tell me when you need the next video, because according to that, I'll make the video. Thank you.